All right, I'm gonna start a little differently. Instead of going out that way like I usually do, we're gonna spin around and go out this way to the side yard. Now back here, I've got this storage shed. It's one of those little plastic Costco sheds. Now when I originally set this thing up back here, it was moved over a lot more this direction, and it was nice and level. But our bedroom is on the other side of this wall, and originally we didn't have a closet in the bedroom. So what I did was, you can see that it's elevated here. I bumped the floor joists out 2 feet, I bumped the rafters out 2 feet, and I just built a closet on the outside of the room. But in order to get that work done, I had to just kind of shove this thing over, and ever since then it's just been a little lopsided. And in the last couple of years we've had some very hard rains, and it didn't drain well back here. So we got some water that actually came up inside of it. So what I'm going to do is build a platform, somehow get this under the platform, move it this way a little bit, and then raise it up so we don't have a danger of water wrecking whatever junk we're storing in there. You can see it's really a cute little building, and I'm sure Costco was having a great sale on them at the time. And we really wanted to have a little more outside storage close to the house. But now let's head out to the shop, because that's where I'm going to get started. I picked these 2x4s up at Home Depot a couple days ago, and this is what I'll use for the floor framing, or the framing for the platform I'm going to build. Now normally when I'm doing some kind of a project, I'll do all my saw cutting right at the location of the project. That ordinarily works better. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and cut these up here in the shop, because I can get really nice square cuts on that saw, and it's just a couple different sizes. It's very predictable. I don't really need to worry about trimming or custom fitting anything. I checked the dimensions of the shed, and it measures 73 by 95 inches to the outside of the walls. That's 6'1" by 7'11". Now the little plastic floor sticks out a little bit all the way around it, so I'm going to have to make my platform a little larger than the wall dimensions. Now these 2x4s measure exactly 8 feet, and that's not going to give me enough on the width of it to cover the size of the floor. So what I'll do is I'll cut 2 of the 6-foot pieces 3 inches longer, and I'll fasten them to the outside of these 2 8-foot pieces. The rest of them will cut in between. I just got to remember to cut those 3 inches shorter. So now, since I'm cutting them on the miter saw, I don't have to worry about drawing a square line across those, because that's all taken care of. All right, that looks good. 2 long ones, 3 short ones. Perfect. It occurred to me that it's going to be a lot easier to assemble this thing here on my workbench where everything's nice and flat, and then carry it out there. It's going to be kind of heavy, but not too bad. I should be able to manage it. So right now, I'm laying out where the individual floor joists go. So then what I'll do next is I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill these, screw this whole thing together, and then carry it out there. So I've got the lines marked on top of the boards here. But I'm going to bring them down along the side too. That will make it a lot easier for me to pre-drill these holes pretty close to the center of that joist. Now I won't pre-drill the ends of these, because these 2, I think this is the 2 long ones. Yeah, I'm going to have to pre-drill the ends of these 2 long pieces that go on each end of the 8-footers, if that makes any sense. I'm going to go ahead and put a line on each of these as well, because I'm going to get these at just exactly the right spot. If I didn't pre-drill, there's a good chance I would split the end of this board, and I just don't want to do that. Now I think I have just the right screws over here. There's some nice 3-inch screws. All right, just right. Battery's dead. Got a fresh one right here. I'm going to get this one in the charger. All right, there we go. And check that out. Where else can you get this kind of action? there we go. This thing is all ready to assemble. Take this out of the way. Oh yeah, that is so much easier than trying to put it out there in the gravel and everything's all uneven. This is the way to do it. Now this end here is going to be a little more difficult because the 2x4 coming in here has a little bit of a twist to it. I can't really push it out. So I think maybe if I put one of the big clamps on here, it'll pull it straight. I'm doing what's called crowning my board. Boards are rarely perfectly straight. They usually have a little bit of a crown to them, and I want that part to go up. This is not a hammer. Don't use this as a hammer. Hear that? The battery's done already. Sometimes I even do as I say. There we go. Come here. Good boy. Cash just came in. It's 4 o'clock. At time for he has a heart medication he takes an hour before he eats. He usually eats at 5 and takes his medication course at 4. And so often if I forget, he'll come out here to remind me. Let me get him his meds and I'll be right back. All right, Cash has been medicated so I can get back to it. Excellent, that's it, my floor framing. Well, there it is, roughly 6 feet by 8 feet, a little bigger on all sides to accommodate the floor sticking out past the building. Next thing to do, well, before I take it out there, I'm going to have to see if I can move the shed over a little bit because I don't think I have enough room to lay it down and slide the shed onto it. I'm finally getting back to the storage shed platform. It's been several weeks. You can see in the meantime, the weather has really changed too. But we were traveling for a week. And I ended up working about a week for a past client. And then there were just a lot of little things that had to be done here around the house. But I'm finally back to it. So now I've got all those salvage fence boards out there. Way more than I need for fences. So I figured that'd be the perfect decking for the top of the platform here. So now I've already gotten a start. I'm gonna pull all these nails out. And then once I got that done, I'm just going to go ahead and pre-cut all the pieces because nothing is long enough to span it, so I got to piece it all together. I want to pre-cut all that stuff here in the shop. That way I can carry it out there and just assemble it in place without having to do any cutting or fooling around out there. I think that's going to make it a lot easier for me. So I did get a little start cutting the pieces out, and it turns out this is a great use of some of these boards. As you can see, I got a whole bunch of them where the bottom is just rotted out like that, a bunch of dry rot on it. And for these pieces I can cut around that and that'll just become waste. Now since I've got so many repetitive cuts, I went ahead and put a stop block here on my outfeed table. And the beauty of that is not only does it make it go a little faster, but that ensures that every piece will be exactly the same length. Alright, so I got all the pieces cut to length now. I wanted to test fit 2 rows because that uses up all the different sizes. Now obviously I can't fasten them onto the deck framing here in the shop because it would be too heavy to carry out there. So I'm going to have to carry them out separately. But before I can do that, I'm going to have to empty the shed and move it over a little bit because there's not enough room between the shed and that outside fence for me to lay out the floor framing. Now I don't remember exactly how I moved the shed last time because it was quite a while ago. But I've got these 2x4s. And I should be able to slip them underneath the shed because it does, even though it's a big plastic thing, it does kind of raise up a little. It's pretty floppy, but I should be able to get it underneath the shed and just kind of shove it out of the way. That'll hopefully give me enough room to lay out the platform floor framing so I can get the decking on it. And then I'm not sure what to do then. I'll figure it out when I get there. All right, a little tougher over here. There's not a lot of room to work. I think I can manage it. Oh yeah, no problem. I'll give it a shot. All right, that was way too easy. That's going to go just fine. I'll get it up on those, and I'll build the platform, and I'll use the 2x4s to slide it onto the platform, and I suppose get the platform on the 2x4s, and then slide the whole thing back in here. All right, so now it's pretty much against the house. That'll give me as much room as I can possibly have here to finish building the platform. So I'll go get those pieces, and we'll see how it goes. Well, I'm a little embarrassed I didn't notice this before, but the floor framing is not going to fit through this opening here. Fortunately, the 2x4 that goes across the top of the gate opening just goes from post to post, so I should be able to pop that off pretty easily, get the get the floor framing in, and then put it back. Well, all right, let's see if I can get this thing out of here. I think it should be heavy, but not too heavy. All right, that's not bad. That is not terrible. Yeah, I should be able to drag it over there just fine. All right, let's see if it fits. I think it should. Oh yeah, that'll work fine. Maybe put some 2x4s this way, slide the shed on, 2x4s underneath the platform, and then slide the whole thing back. The first thing I gotta do, I want to square this thing up. I assume the shed is square, or close to it, so I'm going to get this shed put. I want to get this square or close to it too. 126 and 127. Oh, it wasn't quite as simple as that. I'll see if I'll find some way to deal with that. I just got to move it a ½ inch. I don't want to leave it a ½ inch out. Probably doesn't matter, but it does matter to me. Okay, I think this will work. I'm going to take my ratchet strap, go from corner to corner, go underneath. That'll keep it in place. And once I have most of the deck boards on, or I can still reach a release of the ratchet strap, it should hold its shape at that point. All right, one more click and I'm dead on. I just want to sight down along this to make sure it's straight. That looks fine, so fence boards are next. Or deck boards, fence boards. The fence boards I'm using for deck boards. I'm also going to overhang the boards about a ½ inch all the way around. Now I'm going to be using my pneumatic stapler to staple the deck boards down. I've got 1.5 inch staples in here, that's a leg length. Three things I like about this is, one, the staples really do have tremendous holding power. Two, when I'm shooting near the ends of the boards, the legs of these are real thin, so they're less likely to split the ends of the boards. And three, that's what I got. was going to rip those in the shop and bring back out, but because the boards are all kind of so wonky, it wasn't a real straight line. So I'm going to end up bringing my saw and cord out here, and I'll just cut that nice and straight, a ½ inch outside the floor frame. That's it. The platform is complete. Now, well, now it's lunchtime. I'm going to go get some lunch, then I'll see if I can get the shed on this, or this under the shed, or whichever way it's supposed to work. I'll figure that out when it happens. So now I'm kind of hoping that I can just lift one corner and swing it around and get it on the platform here. So oh, now the problem is, it's so close to the house, I can't lift it because the other end of it hits the house. So I think what I'm going to try and do is move this, move the base here over just a little bit. Now I'll just push it from that side, get it over that direction a little bit. Wow, look at that. I'm going to slide a 2x4 underneath there, see if that's helpful at all. It's working so far. Well, what the heck? I'll see if I can just push from the other side and get it to slide up here a little more. I'm going to try pulling, but I don't want to pull it apart. Right. Alright, I'll just keep trying different things until I get it on here. It is totally getting there. I love this. Well, that worked great. I pretty much have it on there and more or less centered, but it moves around so easily. I might have to fasten this thing down. It really slides well on top of the platform. Now, see if I can get the platform and the shed back over there where it belongs. So obviously what I'm going to need to do is get a 2x4 under each side. Sounds easy enough, doesn't it? Now these 2x4s are a little shorter than the length of the platform. I have 4 of them, so I'll stick this one in here at this end, and that should work. Let me get through. Oh, man, just barely. Just took this little block. I was able to raise it just enough to get that going. Now I need to get it high enough to get it all the way out the other side. Now I'll get this 2x4 and that one, just kind of extend my my sled out a little bit. unfortunately, the whole thing just really isn't that heavy. Gotta find a way to get it moving. Just don't have any room on that end to stand past it. Unless I could just move it over bit by bit with a lever of some kind. Maybe I can still reach around and do that somehow. But not really. If I can just get it to go a little bit, then it'll be on my way. I think I need another 2x4 just to kind of lever it over with. Okay, I got a brick for a fulcrum again. This is my lever. Let's see if I can just kind of lift it and move it. It's going a little bit, but not that much. I'll try the other side. If I can just get enough room to get behind there, I can lever it straight ahead. All right, I have an idea. I don't know if I have the right stuff, but I have an idea. All right, check it out. Now here's a method as old as time. Now it's just plastic pipe, but I think it'll still work. Now let's see if I can get one under that end. Maybe from the other side. Well, all right, if I can get this one under this end here, it should just go rolling right into place. Should. Okay, so now it's hitting the platform on the other side because it didn't raise up enough. So now I should be able to raise that, block it up with these, pull the, the pipe through, take the blocks out, and roll it right in there. Okay. All right, so far so good. Right, there it is. I'll go take that block out and see if it just rolls right back into place. Sure slides around easy enough. That is awesome right there. Now, isn't that cool? See what's happening here. I feel like I'm hitting something. Okay, just a little bump, that's all. I'm going to measure this along the other wall to make sure it actually really is parallel. What I want to do is get it as close in as possible while still giving me just enough room to get inside there and do any work that may need to be done. Okay, so now the shed slid that way on top of the platform. I'm not going to be able to move all it's on the rollers, but I want to roll it in just a little more, so let's see what I can do. Okay. I think I'm there. Now I just got to get it off the rollers. And I also want to put some bricks around there because I want to elevate it, maybe about as high as it is now, just another couple inches off the ground, because sometimes this area floods. And that's a problem because water got inside there, probably wrecked a few things. But the things that wrecked were probably stuff we should be throwing away anyways. Alright, I'm thinking I'm going to start with 2 bricks high on this end, and I do want to level it, so I'll start with this and see what I have to do. Got my level and some scraps of the fencing to use as shims to get this thing pretty close. Got more bricks. I tossed them there already. I'm going to go ahead and put one under this corner, see how level that is, do what it takes to make it level, and then go to the other corner. And when those are done, I do want to put a brick halfway along here to support the center of this. I think it needs it. Oh, that looks good. That looks just right. So now that needs to come up a little too. I think 2 bricks might be perfect. All right, that looks good. That looks good. All right, now I'll get the shed centered on the platform. Once I have it centered, I'll go ahead and add the center support on each side. That all looks pretty good. And it feels great inside here. This is great. Well, that looks good. I think I got it. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, and we'll have a better look at it. Here it is, another project complete. It's level and is high enough to stay dry. Before this, I couldn't even open or close the doors all the way, but now I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Remember, get out there and do something.